Ms. Gabbard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I speak in opposition to the substitute amendment and support the underlying measure. This one hits close to home for a number of reasons. You know, there's been a lot of talk about legislation that's been passed, initiatives that have been put forward, commissions that have come together and made recommendations to Congress, but the evidence and the reports that we continue to see come out year after year show that the system that we have in place is not working. The reports that Acting Secretary Shanahan recently talked about, that there's been a 38% increase in sexual assault in the military from 2016 to 2018 alone. One thing I want to note, in the years that we've been debating this issue, especially in this committee, the commissions that are being referenced, to my recollection, they represent general officers, or retired officers. Time and time again, we see a lack of representation coming from anyone in the enlisted ranks. No command sergeant majors coming forward, and yet, who's the #1 target of sexual assault in the military? Enlisted female troops, age 17 to 24, E3s and E4s. It is their voices that are not being represented. So time and time again, we hear about, well, we've got to protect command authority. I agree with that. I served both as an enlisted soldier for 5 years, up until being an E4. I went through OCS, commissioned as lieutenant, also served as a company commander. I respect the need for command authority. But I also understand what it's like to be an enlisted soldier, where you don't feel comfortable going and speaking to that command. I've served under commanders who have done the right thing. I've also served under commanders who have not, who've abused their power, who have not fulfilled that responsibility they have to serve and protect their own troops under their command. So I think the point here is we're looking for other solutions and other opportunities to make sure that the justice system that we have in place actually protects the victims of sexual assault in the military. I think Congresswoman Spears talked about how in our service academies, the statistics she mentioned, none of those sexual assaults had been reported. None had been reported. Why is that? How can you talk about prevention unless these things are actually being reported? What I've heard from people who I know personally is they have not reported their being a victim of sexual assault because they have no faith that their command will stand up for them. They have no faith in a fair, transparent justice system that will not result in retaliation, that will not result in them being sequestered from their comrades, that will not result in them being pointed out as saying, oh, she's one of those, watch out, stay away from her. She's a troublemaker. She causes problems. She is ruining the cohesion within the unit, when in fact the opposite is true. It is the perpetrator of these crimes who are violating the unit cohesion that is necessary in every single one of our units, small units and large units. So I can't speak strongly enough for Congresswoman Spears' efforts to look at other avenues, to begin to get at the heart of making sure that we as service members have a justice system that works for us. I yield back.